Right then, Sunday, something new today, bit of metal detecting. Never done this before, so this should be quite interesting. Well, in actual fact, the kid has never done it, so he's up for some fun. You right, Tyler? Mm-hmm. You're going to learn how to do a bit of metal detecting?
I already know how to.
Get your arse in that car.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's our chauffeur.
Hello. We're going to an undisclosed field that the farmers give us permission on. Chaps.
Pringles and drink.
Yeah, they don't have the chives. Barbecue.
Yeah.
There is no way we're going to stand in a field for the next few hours without any drinks. Finally, you've only been in that shop 10 minutes.
Well, I was looking for these.
Well, hey, I'll take them. Cheers.
Let's put this in the boot, shall we?
So when we get to the field, you can show us what metal detecting gear you've got.
Well, we've got the Minelab 800 and we've got the XP HF coil.
Okay.
What's the better one?
So they're both similar.
I reckon the one with the bigger bit at the bottom here looks the better one.
They always say bigger is better, but any man that knows and any woman that's decent knows that's not the case. It's how you use the machine.
So he's brought sex into it again.
I didn't say that at all.
He didn't have to say it. So the plan is, we're on our way to our undisclosed farmer's field, somewhere along the A14, I believe.
The A14's a very long road.
It's also a very boring road. I'll tell you what, wherever we are, I've just been asleep for the last half hour. We're in some picturesque little village. There's a road, Church End. That must be pretty unique. Whoa, watch the cyclist.
What cyclist?
So hopefully, with any luck, we're going to find something buried in the ground made of metal. Are you feeling lucky?
I can guarantee we're going to find something in the ground made of metal.
We've just pulled over. Look at this car coming down here.
That looks old.
This is an old lane.
Look at this, an old lane and an old car. Well, hey.
That looks like the ghost plus the Manhattan, the old police Manhattan cars.
I couldn't even tell you what that was. All right then. So we're going to find some old Roman coins today.
Well, normally when we find the shotgun shells, because obviously we find so many of them, we decided to call them Roman shotgun shells to make us feel better.
So we're here. Look at this. The absolute middle of goddamn nowhere. The sun is beaming, bubbly clouds, and who knows, we might find something valuable. Let's go and take a look. Right, this is not bird shit, this is sunscreen. The reason being, someone like me has got a bald head, right? And if the sun gets on my head, my skin's all going to fall off, and I'm going to have a pink head.
Like a flaky lizard.
So we're getting all sunscreened up with oil.
Jesus.
There we go. Thank you. So, what hardware have we got?
Today we're using the Minelab 800 Equinox with the 15-inch coil. The build quality on these could be a little bit better. We've had to change the shaft because the original shafts they supply with it were breaking. The other point to note is another place they're breaking is on the lugs on the coil here. But other than that, it's not a bad machine. So first of all, we're going to turn it on just here. I'm using the wireless connection with a cheap set of headphones, and I can boost if I need to. First things first, what we're going to do there is we're going to go onto the screen, and as you can see, it's Park 1. We've gone here, which is noise cancel. We push it again, which is your ground balance. So what we do is we put the coil to the ground. We find a clear bit of ground, hold the plus and minus key and pump the coil up and down. Once we've done that, we go back to this button here, detect mode, and we're on 40 kilohertz. We could change the kilohertz, multi, 5, 10, 15, 20 and 40. We're going to use 40 today. I'm going to walk. The idea is swing your location, side to side, keeping it flat, covering all the ground. Depending on your sensitivity, if it's quiet, you can use the plus key automatically and take up to 25. So my sensitivity now is 25. Plus button there, I'm on full sensitivity. Okay, this one is a curious technique. I think it's going to be iron, but we go to the end. It's a big target. So I'd say that's a big lump of iron. It could even be a horseshoe. I didn't put my digging shoes on, but we'll have a look. So this is where we dig. What we're going to do now, we're going to dig around the circle. Okay, so you make a nice neat hole. And the reason we make a nice neat hole is because we've got to put it back neat afterwards. So there we go, we leave it out. There's our plug. We've made our plug, yeah?
I think it might be deeper then.
No, because now we dug the plug, we can't see nothing there yet, and our pinpointer, unfortunately the battery's gone. So now we've got to rely on me to try and find that. So first thing we check, we're going to check the hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this, and it tells me it's still in the hole, okay? So what I'm going to do is move back.
We can certainly hear it scraping against something.
Oh my god, what feels like a safe?
It is, it's a bit of,
It might be the crown jewels.
it's a bit of a, I said it's an iron, right? I thought it could be a horseshoe. But iron is be a horseshoe made. And the first target,
Was a brick.
Oh, nice.
so it's part of a tractor part.
Oh.
Yeah? So what we'll do, we'll take that out of the field, so if the farmer ploughs it again, he's not going to plough into that. So we rebury the hole, we make it neat, we get our plug, we put our plug back, and we tread it back down again.
Let's hope we don't find too many of them, eh?
The reason I dug that was to give you an example of knowing what the target was. I knew that was iron already. But the idea is you've got to be confident in what you're doing. You've got to know it's iron or not iron. And sometimes you may dig a target that's a 50-50 and it could be a very good find. So if in doubt, dig it out. I like that sweet sound there. The rule is that you get a signal, if in doubt, dig it out. That's right.
That's awful. Oh, something else.
I think this time it's in the clod of earth there. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this in half, and it's in that half there. But we're not going to discard this because there could be two targets. So what we're going to do is we're going to test this as well. And this is clear. We know the hole's clear, we know the clod's clear. So we're going to put that back. I can tell you now, sometimes there's more than one item in the hole. And if you just dig the clump and not the hole, you could be missing on a good target. One day I did it, I dug it, I had a lump of lead, I checked the hole, and up come a bullhead, silver coin. So it's always worth checking both sides. I've got the targets in my hand. Let me just bury that first. And there's your target.
Button.
A metal button?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Years ago they were made of metal and brass.
It's got some writing on it.
But look how big that target is. And the thing is, when I cut my hole, I still managed to get it inside the whole area where I pinpointed it down.
Oh well, you found yourself a button.
I'll put this in here.
Now if you lose one, you've got a spare one.
Any.
Yeah, any pocket.
That's a bit of a result, I'd say.
So, we've now found
2.
1 bronze item and 1 iron item.
It's the most valuable thing you ever found.
Okay, that's quite hard to explain, Tyler, because for me, I'm a detectorist and not a treasure hunter. A treasure hunter is hunting for treasure for profit. I'm a detectorist, so I do it for the enjoyment and the pleasure of finding stuff. And the finds that I get, I go to the farmer, show him, I give him the finds. If he wants them, he can have them. And it's telling me about the history of the land and what was happening on his land at a given time. So I know that not this particular field, but another field, we can date that back to the 1600s when that was being worked, because we've had finds from the 1600s. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for history, and that's what makes it enjoyable. And then when we find something, trying to ID that item to what period of time it came from. So Tyler's a newbie, and I'm just going to slow his speed down because I know at this age they want to run across the field thinking they want to find it quick, and that's not the way to detect. Just swing it slightly quicker. Is it getting heavy already?
No.
A little bit quicker on the swing, not too fast, but cover the... Oh, go back, go back, go back. There's good signal there.
There?
Right, Tyler's locked onto a location just here. Do you want me to locate it?
Yes.
So we've got a target here. I've got the headphones on because I know what I'm listening for. So I'm going back to just there, circle. Now, normally I always like to go a little bit bigger because what I don't want to do is damage the item that I'm digging.
Is it in the...
So I checked the hole.
There's a worm in it.
It's not in the hole,
Is it in the plug?
but it's in the clud. So now what we're going to do is we lay the machine down.
And then we put it in half.
Normally you use your pinpointer, but the battery's died on mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and break that in half, like so. And I know it's not in there. So we put that back. It tells me it's in there. The sad thing is it tells us up towards the top. So normally when it finds up towards the top, unless it's a ploughed field, which this is not, this is probably going to be a shotgun shell and they give a lovely signal. So it's at 14.
So do you reckon...
And there we have it.
Oh my god.
Shotgun shell. And that one there, because obviously we find a load of these, to make it a bit interesting, we always say, it's a Roman shotgun shell. So it just gives that bit of excitement, okay? Even though it's a shotgun shell, if you go shotgun shell, it's like, oh, boring. Roman shotgun shell, it sounds better, right? Yep. So there you go, Tyler. Put it in the finds pouch.
That is really cool.
If you don't want to put your machine on the ground, you can stand it on top of your spade. There's 2 ways of doing that.
Is it in
the target's in here. I've got gloves on. So there's an old saying in England that those people that step in poo end up with good luck. Well, we've stepped in it. Alan handled it. It's nice and dry. So to me, that looks like it's deer poo. Let's find out what the target is.
Is it in there?
Let's find out if we're lucky or not. Is it a curtain rail ring? It's made of brass. The question is, how many brass curtain tail rings have you seen?
None.
Good. So the chances are that was for the horses when the bands were going there on the reins and stuff.
Oh.
Which could have been even for when they're ploughing the fields years ago. And we've stopped ploughing over here over 100 years ago. So that could take back to 100 years plus. Yeah?
That's actually pretty cool.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
Put it in our house pouch. And we found that amongst the poo. Well done. So that myth must be true. Step in something, find something lucky.
if Dear Pooh were pinpointing treasure, we'd all be doing it.
It's another big target, or biggish target, but it's a nice sweet signal. So, again, it's one of those signals where I'm not sure. So,
Just hit it.
what do we do, Tyler, on an unsure signal?
When in doubt, dig it out.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's a sweet signal. For me, it's coming across as a big target, but I'm still interested to what it could be. We'll check it though. So, that gave me a nice sweet signal.
Brick.
No, it's iron. But look at the size of that plate.
What would that be used for?
I tell you what, guys, you're all digging holes for metal. I've already found a big lump of metal and it's in plain sight.
My car. The next machine is the XP Deus with the HF coil. To be honest with me, that's with XP Deus, since I brought the HF coil out, what a machine. It changed it completely. And I'm very impressed with its results. A lot of people though don't get on with it because they don't understand how to set it up. And they say use the factory presets. But I sometimes find the factory presets don't give you what you really want. So the idea is to go into some settings and change them and play with that. Tyler's new today, so the Minelab 800, even though it's a light machine with the 15-inch coil, it's too heavy for him. And that is a problem with youngsters, you know, swinging that arm all day, they're not going to do that. So the XP Deus is a light machine, it's lightweight, suitable for old people, one day I'm going to get there, and young people like Tyler. Let's get the machine. The XP Deus.
Whoa, that is very small.
Some people
That's tiny.
know it is a Star Trek Enterprise to go where no detector's been before.
Captain Spock!
So we're going to wind down,
That's tiny.
unclip, unclip. The beauty about this is you can set it to the height of the person. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that up there. Here's Tyler. He's quite short. He brings his hands down there and really he wants to be detecting there. So when he lifts it up, he's not going to put no pressure on the coil because he'll break it. And so he can swing that high very easily off the ground.
So just out of curio, how much does that XP machine cost?
Depending on whether you get the light or the full version, the full version with the headphones, the 3 original black coils and the unit is about 1,300. The white coil on its own, to buy that, is £390.
So seeing you got 2 pretty expensive flashy machines here, what would you recommend for a beginner and for a pro?
So my recommendation, start off with something like a second-hand machine, Hawkeye, lazy rapier, small machine, really lightweight, really good build quality, and play with that. And then if you like it, then you've got to ask yourself, is it worth investing money into a better machine?
Well, I don't know about this lot waving their metal detectors about. They should try waving this camera around the field. It's flipping heavy. Thirsty old work. Does anyone want a drink?
No thanks.
Cheers. We'll find Tyler some metal.
No, we won't. Well, no. No. It's him! It's him! Haven't found a single thing.
Well,
apart from iron.
it's called perseverance.
But it's not perseverance if you keep failing.
If you find something, you'll be jumping for joy. I think Master Allen's found something.
Well, it could be a nice big lump of iron again. But whatever it is, it's big. It's on edge. And look at that. That'd be on the tractor there. They sometimes have them on chains and they go along the back. and that ploughs through the ground. So we do know that this field was worked. Okay, so even though it's grass now, at some stage this was being ploughed. Fantastic. See, these are the clues that people ignore that can tell you something. So if this is being worked, now we've got to find out if we can find anything older than that, to see if we can date it back even further. Brilliant. On to the next hole. Small, I think it's deep because it's quite faint, but we'll see. Still in the hole. Just going to take a little bit more on the side there. Okay, it's out. It's not in the side bit, so it's in the bottom of the hole we dug out. There was button.
Oh, another button.
So that was quite deep. I didn't show you the depth of the hole, but that did come out.
Was it deeper than mine?
That was at the bottom of the hole. So, you know what, it's good 6-8 inches.
It's amazing how buttons find their way in the middle of a field. They just fall off people's shirts.
But you'll get coins smaller than that. So if you're finding stuff like that down there, and to be fair, since I've been here, because I'm with Tyler today and he's a newbie and I'm helping him, I'm just here for a bit of fun, I'm not switched on. We'll talk about that in later videos. All I'm just having a bit of fun, and just then I switched on for a few seconds and it was a very faint signal, but hang on, that's a signal. And when I dug the first part out, the clud here, that came up really, really clear. I'm like, okay, what is this? And yeah, lovely button. Unfortunately, now it's towards the top. I know it's been ploughed, so it could be something decent. But normally on top of the ground, on normal conditions, you'd say foil, ring pools where people have been drinking, and they've thrown it over at the tractor or at their cars, and it's got onto the field and ploughed in, or so it's in that bit there. As I said, it's when it gets this high, I lose a little bit, and that's really high up in the grass now. So, do you know what I said? This has been ploughed. I said silver coin when I first dug it. Here we've got our first silver coin.
Tyler, way!
So it's a little sixpence, silver sixpence. And I did say silver before we dug this, but because it was high up, and I thought, well, unless it's been ploughed and no one's detected it, which they haven't, it's either that or silver, and silver foil, and there you go, there's our first silver coin. Look at that, silver sixpence. So that was amongst the iron. Tyler was saying not a load of iron, and there's our first, that's 1920, I believe.
Oh,
cool, eh? That's a live dig. So it's a little sixpence.
I reckon that was
There you go.
What's that, when
Old
that was
Georgie.
freezing?
Old Georgie. Say hi, George.
Hi, George. It's absolutely fantastic,
That's what you're listening for.
because at least we can go home and say we've found a silver coin.
He found the silver coin.
Yeah, but that signal
Yeah,
you got
but-
there could be. That's a nice signal.
Yeah, but we're a collective group.
Dad, shovel on your shovel.
You want the shovel?
Yes.
So not only am I carrying the camera around, I'm carrying the drinks rucksack
Okay, ready?
and the shovels.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, let's see if we can find a gold coin or a brass coin. Well, there's the English countryside. What a beautiful view. It's a lovely warm Sunday afternoon, and just walking around this field, there's so many sounds and sights to see. There's so many insects, the noises they're making is flipping absolutely deafening when you get close to, especially when you get close to the edges of the field. Give it a slightly bigger swing.
Don't hit the spade. What's that?
What was that?
That's a good sound,
What's that?
Tyler. That's a good sound. Mark it.
It's like right underneath.
Right, go back. Try and mark it. Move back. Back a bit more. Bit more. Right, it stops there. So we know, out of the way, move back a bit. So we know the target's there, yeah?
Right, if you push a hole in there.
So it's there. Now cross it the other way. So it's somewhere there. So let's dig around that. Right, is it in the hole, Tyler? Is it in the hole? You've got to get this machine.
No, if you find a coin you can have it, but you're not taking big lumps of useless iron home. We're not a scrap yard.
Wait, if you... No, it's in there.
In there, where?
It's a coin.
No, you're fine. You look for it. Wave it over the machine. Here. Wave it over the machine so you can find it. Split it in half.
Oh, that is a pound. It's
Bloody-
a
Oh
coin.
my god!
I reckon a farmer lost that one, Alan.
Oh my god!
I'm not...
Your first find.
Oh, you can go and buy a can of soda.
Yeah,
Well, it's a find though.
it's
Wow.
mine. Yes!
Impressed.
Yes!
Well done, Tyler.
There you go, buddy.
Well, I'm glad he's found something. He's a lot happier now because he's getting a little bit despondent. It's a game of patience, this metal detecting.
Okay, a lot of people don't like when they're newbies. After a little while, they get despondent because they keep hearing iron in the ground. I like iron because iron in the ground tells us that man has been there. And if man has been there, it means that the fields were being worked, which means there's chances of finding other items apart from iron. So iron is my friend.
I'd just like to add to that, our Merc Mercedes Vito van is almost iron ore again, and it's nearly time for it to go back into the ground.
Okay, where's the machine? How are we going to test the ground?
Oh my god, I want to dig.
No, God won't find it for you because he hasn't got a metal detecting machine.
Can I dig some of the hole?
Well, I'm not sure we're going to be strong enough, but
I can try.
there you go, look at that, thimble.
A thimble,
Oh,
blimey.
those use a Monopoly.
That's an old one as well. Hold it,
It's Monopoly, if it's sewing.
No, it's nothing.
yeah. So that's what we located. So that tells us now what?
Um,
What was I saying about iron? I
Iron's our
said
best friend.
iron's our best friend because it means there's people been working here, something's been happening, something's going on. And look at that, that's intact.
So if
That is fantastic because
that a
normally you
good
get
one?
them crushed, broken, or this bit's missing. That is absolutely complete. Beautiful. And you can go on the internet later on, look at that design, and it can tell you how old that is. Okay? That's better than that pound coin you found.
Oh my gosh.
So now you've got an artefact. Now put that in your bag somewhere safe so you don't get it crushed or broken. You have the women on the field sewing up the sacks, probably 100 years ago, to stop them because they were split. And obviously further than that, they'd use thimbles as well for sewing clothes and stuff. So thimbles was for working people. So that's a fantastic find.
Well done, Tyler.
And most people would be over the moon finding that.
I'm over the moon. I'm happy as
You
hell.
can go and clean it up when you get home
Yeah.
and have a good look at it. You can even start a bit of sewing. Master Alan's found something.
Sounds like it's having a seizure.
What have you found in the ground?
A nice big silver button.
Whoa.
Oh.
Another button.
Another button.
There's a lot of people losing a lot of buttons.
Yeah, because they're losing their buttons.
Okay everyone, just a few notes here. What not to do when going metal detecting. Please, if you think that you're going to up your fines rate by doing that, the answer is no. The other problem is this, watch the coil. So if you're doing that, is a no, even you slow it down. The next problem is this, watch my coil to the ground. You left a big gap. Work the area and you'll find the goodies.
Well, I found all the bags that need carrying. So we found a tractor bolt and a shotgun shell.
And a thimble.
I quite like the tractor bolt. I think you should clean that up.
Yeah, Dad, I'm taking all of these home. I'm cleaning them all up. Sir, thank you very much for taking me here today.
You're welcome. I do believe we found something the kid likes. Let's got him off the PlayStation for a little while at least.
Dad, I would legit go full time off the PlayStation just doing this. Told you about history, so
We've spent a couple hours here.
I don't want to go.
And what have we found? Oh, what have we found?
This is what we found on the field today. I just want to give you an example
And a piece of
of, I was on a dig last week on a site that was meant to be Saxon on there, Roman on there. It is meant to be a high profile site. I was told it's really, really good. It was like concrete, and that's what I dug all day. We've been onto our own private field that we got permission from the farmer. Okay, we haven't found as much as this, but shotgun shells. We found a couple of buttons, a doorknob, a bolt, ring, which I would said from horse harness, sixpence, 1920, and a thimble. Well, we've dug less targets compared to here, but the finds were far greater.
All right then, we're just packing up and we're going to clear off home. It's been a good day, taking pictures of all the pieces we found. So it's bye from him, and it's bye from him,
Bye bye.
Bye.
and it's bye from me.
And iron is your best friend. Ta-la!
Hi.